Whizbang the Wonderful is a card that many players are excited about for a few reasons. For those of you who don't know, Whizbang the Wonderful is a new legendary from the Boomsday Project that, when put into your deck, will use a random deck recipe for you to play with. Whether it's due to the randomness of not knowing what you're going to play, or playing with cards you don't own, Whizbang the Wonderful is a fun experience for the majority of players. In fact, because you play with so many other cards you may not own, many people are referring to Whizbang as the ultimate free-to-play card. Blizzard has also touched up the deck recipes to make them a bit more viable for ladder. Today, we will be taking a look at Whizbang the Wonderful along with some of the best deck recipes that it can provide. The deck recipes will see a lot more play in the coming months, and Blizzard wants to ensure that they're a bit more competitive. This is great for the new player experience, as this allows them to not only feel as if they have a good chance to win, but also teaches them to analyze a deck and make improvements where needed in their own collections. However, this may be a hindrance when playing Whizbang. One example of this is the Spells are Fun, So Fun recipe, which is a take on the big spell mage archetype. This mage list features a spiteful summoner package, but also plays spells which aren't very expensive, like Polymorph. One of the most notable issues with some of the deck recipes is that they go all in on one plan and tend to lack a comeback mechanism. For example, a lot of the mech decks don't feature any tools to interact with the board and rely on developing a large mech minion with magnetic. If you fall behind on board or your opponent uses hard removal, you tend to end up in a position that's near impossible to return from. This isn't to say that decks are weak, just that they have visible weaknesses, holding them back from being competitive. As you'd expect with the Boomsday Project, a good amount of the deck recipes feature mechs. Magnetized mechanic is used as much as it can, and is featured in Warrior, Paladin, and Hunter. Warrior aims not only to use the mechs to magnetize, but also uses rush cards and weapons to take control of the board. The Warrior list plays a slower game, slowly building up to a large mech. Hunter, on the other hand, combines cheap magnetized minions with goblin bombs to force the opponent into awkward positions. If they kill the bombs, they take direct damage, and if they leave them up, they run the risk of them being magnetized. Paladin recipe takes a different approach and goes all in on the magnetized plan. This is notably one of the only new recipes to feature board clears, as it wants to play for a mid-range game plan where it generates large mech minions and then revives them using Kangor's Endless Army. Token Druid is something that has been prevalent in the Witchwood meta and is making a return in the Boomsday recipes featuring tree ants. This list makes use of Floop's Glorious Gloop and a large amount of tokens to cheat out a lot of mana in one turn. This also has powerful synergy with living mana. Another deck you may recognize from previous metas in these recipes is the Demon Zoo list. This list plays like a standard zoo deck, fighting for board control with buffs and small minions while chipping away your opponent. Tempo Mage is also making a return to Boomsday recipes featuring a spell power based list. This list aims to synergize cheap spells with spell power in the new legendary Stargazer Luna, allowing us to draw a lot of cards in one turn. It also features the new card Unexpected Results to give more power behind our spell power cards. The Shaman deck recipe aims to generate a lot of sparks by using cards like Thunderhead. These large boards that will be developed also work really well with the Shaman legendary spell, the Stormbringer, giving us the ability to make a lot of legendary minions, or Bloodlust to allow us to finish off our opponent. The Elemental package allows for reliable minions that can bring good synergies off of one another with cards such as Kalamos, Primal Lord. Inner Fire Priest is likely one of the better recipes featured aside from a few weird choices. Cards such as Dragon Soul just aren't powerful enough to justify running, and Ysera is too slow given the deck's game plan. With that said, this is a powerful recipe to randomly generate, and this is one you'd be happy to get. Finally, the last new deck recipe is an archetype that Blizzard has been pushing for a very long time, and it's no surprise that they continue to do so here. This archetype is Death Rattle Rogue. By combining powerful death rattles such as Devilsaur Egg with the new rogue weapon Necrium Blade, the rogue cheats out as many death rattles as they can as quickly as they can. Other cards such as Necrium Vial also help to get as much value out of these death rattle minis as possible. The deck seems to be inconsistent as there are a bunch of cards with only one copy, and Rogue doesn't fit a very slow game plan due to the lack of healing in the class. Only time will tell if the new cards are enough for this archetype to come to reality. With Blizzard touching up the deck recipes, it is without question that they want Whizbang to be a fun and strong card for the casual audience. Whether the card will be good is questionable, but the fact that they make the decks good enough to play shows that they care about more than just the paying players. Whizbang is a great addition to the game and is something that many players are thankful for. Thank you for watching our feature video on Whizbang the Wonderful. Make sure to subscribe for more content and let us know what you think about this card in the comments. Hope you enjoyed, and best of luck with your adventure through the Boomsday Project.